So Haley reacted to Navalny's death. She slammed Trump for defending Putin. Do you think that's going to resonate with voters in South Carolina as we go into this primary?
Yeah, I think all of these things have a cumulative effect, and that's going to be interesting as we march towards South Carolina. Of course, she's crisscrossing her own state with this message and really pointing out a few things. Obviously, the Navalny death, I think, is one that is significant and one that we all should be outraged about. That's one that I think is going to put a lot of political pressure back in Washington, D.C., and the fact that former President Trump had a very cozy relationship with Vladimir Putin, continues to make interesting statements there. I think that starts to wear on people as things go on. I think Nikki Haley is also trying to wrap the former president and the current president together in terms of being weak against Vladimir Putin. And I think that's actually Nikki Haley's better strategy in South Carolina and marching towards March 5th and Super Tuesday, is to really link both the current and the former president together in terms of policy, failed policy that has made the country less safe. I think that's probably a more winning message for Nikki Haley.
I mentioned earlier in the show that while polling for Haley is down, the money keeps pouring into her campaign. We talked to former special assistant to President Trump, Mark Lauder, and he believes donors are actually diverting the attention. Let's take a listen to Mark.
I think you've got a lot of Democrats that are funding her campaigns because they would rather have Donald Trump focused on her rather than focused on Joe Biden. And that's a problem for Republicans because we need to turn our attention not on each other, but to the true opponent, which is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Do you agree, Boyd?
I think it's an interesting argument. I've been an equal opportunity offender for both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party lately, because neither one of them want to spend any money on anything other than Trump Biden 2.0. And I think that should actually put up our spidey sense for all voters and Americans. Is why is it that we don't even have a duopoly with the two parties? It's really a monopoly with two heads, and they are reliant on each other. The Biden campaign knows that the best chance for them to get reelected is through Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows his only path is through Joe Biden. And so there's sort of this mutual connection there. Collusion is usually the problem in Washington. We always complain about conflict, but this is one more example. When you hear Republicans say, oh, that's going to steal votes from Donald Trump, or you hear Democrats say, oh, that's going to steal votes from Joe Biden, that's when we all should stop and say, wait a minute. The vast majority of this country is center-left to center-right. We've allowed the really noisy and politically powerful elite on both ends to dominate. And it's time for everyone to just step back and say, wait a minute, we don't do coronations in this country. We actually fought a war over that so we could actually have our votes count. And so I think it's one of those where people want this to be a coronation. People want it to be over. And just go back historically. I mean, Barack Obama didn't secure the nomination until June the 6th.
That's right.
We've only given out about 100 delegates thus far. You have to get to 1,215 to be the nominee. I think there's a long way to go. I don't think anybody should say, get out, get in. We should keep the conversation going. That's better for the country.
I love that insight. Let's talk about the $355 million penalty against our former president in the fraud case here in New York. Do you think that could backfire in Haley's campaign? Because we know she's going to use it as a point on her campaign trail.
You know, I think it's one of those, she has to be careful with it. If she starts to run a campaign about what she is against, just the former president, I think that's a losing strategy. I think where Nikki Haley has done well is the contrast. She can say, look, there are failed policies from the Biden and Trump eras. Here's my vision moving forward. It's fine to be against things, but the only way you really win in America is by being for things. So give us a vision of what you're for. I think when Nikki Haley does that, she's much better. It actually resonates more with voters. And so I think you'll see her close the gap a bit in South Carolina. And then it will be the big stomp to Super Tuesday, which will be the real telling portion of it. But it has to be a positive message. What's the vision? And we all should demand that as voters as well. We've gotten too comfortable with candidates just telling us what they're against and shouting talking points at the other side. We have to get back to a real conversation in the country about principles and good policy.
Yeah, especially when those talking points get stuck in some kind of echo chamber. Very, very quickly, if Haley loses her home state of South Carolina, do you think this is going to be a blow to her campaign? What will this mean?
Yeah, I don't think she has an expectation. It's all about expectation game when it comes to politics. So I think if she narrows the gap, if she can get it closer to single digits, that's going to be just fine, and she'll move that and take that as a win and move on towards Super Tuesday.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.